What's going on, y'all? It's B Tatum again. So again, I can't let these people get away with getting on TV and spewing stupidity. I can't let them get away with it. I'm gonna have to say something. Enough is enough of people being able to get on TV because of their celebrity status and make statements that are just not true. So let's clarify this for a minute. First of all, they're mad at Donald Trump. They're calling him a racist. First, this has nothing to do with race and everything to do with the love for the country. Then let's move forward. We've got that established. Nothing to do with race, everything to do with the country. You know, and so let's look at their arguments. Let's look at the arguments of these people who we entrust to have a level of common sense. Okay, they say Donald Trump is divisive. This push for America first is somehow divisive. Now, there's a difference between being divisive and separating. There's a difference between division and separation. Now, division is what Obama did. It's when you take like-minded people who have the same common goals and then you forcibly separate them into groups to pander. You take good, common Americans and you pit them against each other by using race, by using the hatred towards police. For instance, you got the president of the United States and Obama who, as soon as something negative happens, without no facts, any information, he's siding on the side of criminals like Michael Brown. He's sending people from the White House to this boy's funeral, proclaiming that officers are unjustified in what happened with no facts. He put that information out there. He put that situation out there. That is division. Now you have people with like-minded mentalities. Now they're pitted against each other. Good people wanted to see the resolution to that situation. But when you have the president of the United States coming out and picking a side, then you have conflict. Okay? Just like Trayvon Martin. Now, I think Zimmerman should be under the prison for the rest of his life. He had no business doing what he was doing. But then at the same time, you have President Obama separating himself in that situation from the American people by saying, well, that could have been my son. Why? Because he's black? And then you're lying because that'll never be your son, because your son wouldn't be going to the store to buy lean in the middle of to buy products to make lean in the middle of the night. So now let's go to our current President Trump. What he's doing is not division, people. It's called separation. If you've ever read the Bible, then you know the parable of the wheat and the tare. Talks about at the end, God is going to separate the wheat and the tare, right? That's separating the good from the bad. What Trump is doing is separating people who love this country from people who hate this country. That's what it boils down to. Separate people who are patriots, who are willing to stand for the flag, who are willing to appreciate what this country has afforded them, versus people who want division and racism and hatred. This is exactly what Trump is separating. When you talk about Hispanics clearly voted for Trump. The Hispanics who want to be in this country, who want to assimilate, who want to be citizens, who came here the right way, with how much ever money they had to spend and time they had to spend away from family, they did it the right way, versus the people who don't want to do what they need to do. They want a handout and want to come over here illegally and break the law. You know, that's the difference between African Americans who have taken a step to say, you know what, we need to move forward in this country as a people together. We didn't get here on the backs of other blacks. We got here on the backs of other people. We worked together to get here. Harriet Tubman didn't do it by herself. Martin Luther King didn't do it by himself. Slavery was not abolished by black people. So the African American people who I tend to agree with, who are saying, let's move forward, let's work together. We don't need to have a victim mentality. I don't need your handout. I can make it with the help of other people, but I can make it through perseverance and dedication, not relying on the government. versus the people who want to be victims, who think that white people still owe them something. I'm just keeping it real. And I'm not just saying black people. People who want to be on the system, who want to burn the flag, who want to cry, to want to be social justice warriors when it's convenient, who want to hurt free speech. This is the separation that's being made. And I don't have a problem with that. And that's pretty much the gist of what I want to say, is that get your facts straight. There's a difference between division and separation. Our previous president was the king of division, the divider in chief, deported more people than any president in history. We have seen the highest rate of racial tension in history through Obama. But now there's a new sheriff in town. And Donald Trump is going to separate people that want to be in this country, people that really care about the country, no matter the race, color, creed. People like the individuals you see out in Houston that are going to bat for one another, that they don't care about the race. They going and picking you up out of the water. They're going and raising money for relief efforts. When you have these other groups that preach till the cows come home about being together, and they're nowhere to be found when the crisis hit. They're nowhere to be found. I'll tell you this, and I've heard other people reflect this, and I can say this till I'm blue in the face. If these players really cared, I would be on board with them. I would never disrespect the flag. Don't get me wrong. Y'all don't get me now. But I'll be in support of what they're doing if they were legitimate. If I felt like they really cared about black lives, I would be supporting that. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not even a real movement. This is not even a real authentic complaint. Because how in the world on one end you're saying black power, and you got nowhere to be found when black people die from reasons other than police shooting them? I don't understand. Like, instead of taking a knee, why don't you take a stand for something? I would love to see NFL players in bulk go out in these communities and stand on the corner and say enough is enough. You're not selling dope on my street. They're not going to do that because they're going to get gunned down and nobody going to snitch. But that's the whole premise of this. What oppression are you talking about? Could somebody explain to me the oppression that I'm supposed to have at this point? When what I see is opportunity. What I see is historical black colleges. What I see is grants and scholarships for African Americans. What I see is the president of the United States as an African American. People, top positions in the White House being headed by African Americans. I don't see oppression in law enforcement because half of Philadelphia Police Department is black. The commissioner of the Philadelphia Police Department was black. The largest metropolitan city, the metropolitan area in the country is Dallas-Fort Worth. Dallas had a black chief. Fort Worth had a black chief. One of the largest cities in the country is Phoenix. Phoenix has an African-American female chief. So where's the issues? Where's the oppression in law enforcement? I mean, I know people who are judges, lawyers. Maybe because he's a Republican and he's a conservative, they forgot that Ben Carson ran for president as an African-American man who's a neurosurgeon. Show me what oppression I'm supposed to be feeling. I've never been harassed by police. Every traffic stop that I've been stopped on, I was wrong. Nobody beat me and drugged me out of the car. And what oppression are you talking about? Statistically, white people get killed twice as much by police than black people. What oppression? I know that I don't want to delegitimize a person's individual feeling, but you're going to have to show me more proof than Michael Bennett lying about a police interaction. You're going to have to show me more proof than Michael Brown dying after trying to kill a police officer and robbing a store. You're going to have to show me more proof than Freddie Gray dying, which pretty much was based on the outcome of a city run by African-American people, a judge, the top cop, All of these police, and half of them were black police officers. All of them got acquitted under all black leadership. Now, what oppression is? You talking about, what's his name? Eric Garner got arrested 43 times before he finally got arrested the last time. You're going to have to show me more oppressed situation and more negligence in law enforcement than people who are running from police and pulling guns on police officers and getting shot as a result of a resistant arrest and being belligerent. You got to show me more proof. You got to show me legitimate oppression. When you're making hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars to play a sport, and I guarantee you, if you walk out of that arena and go into a restaurant, they're going to serve you first. I guarantee you, LeBron James can go anywhere and probably won't pay for anything. What oppression are you referring to? I want to sympathize with you. But when I've gone 30 years in my life and I haven't seen any legitimate oppression, I'm starting to have question marks. Racism. Yeah, somebody in a cornfield somewhere hate me because I'm black. Cry me a river. Like, there's black people that hate me. I mean, so what racism are we referring to? Because racism, in my opinion, is borderline dead because it has no power. I'm not saying that people aren't out here wishing that they could kill black people or wishing they could kill white people or Hispanics. I'm not saying that don't exist. What I'm saying is that it doesn't have any power. Because with all of this racism and oppression that's going on, I'm still making it. I'm still succeeding. I still have a platform and a voice. That's all I'm saying, people. I support your protest. If you feel that is a legitimate cause, by all means, make a stand. Just like I feel like what I'm saying is a legitimate cause, I'm going to make a stand. But you don't do it through disrespect. And at least have some legitimate claims while you're at it. If you're going to go so far as to disrespect the country, at least have a legitimate argument. At least have some proof and efforts that you're doing the right thing for the community. That's all I ask of people. Ray Lewis, when you take a knee on the ground, come on, man. I liked you. I thought Ray Lewis had a mind of his own. I tell you what, you ain't going to see Charles Barkley taking no knee nowhere. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get out of here. The problem with society today, I think, is that they're too worried about being accepted by other people. Listen, I knew that when I made my first video a year ago, that people weren't going to like what I had to say. But I don't care. Because I'm going to operate on my convictions to the day that I die. And if you have evidence to prove me wrong, I'm willing to change my viewpoint. But I don't care if you watch my video, if you like what I have to say. I do not care. I don't do this for likes. I'm just speaking my heart. And people agree with me. I'm not going to somehow change and start taking a knee because I feel pressure from the black community. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stand for what's right. And I've learned over the years that when you stand on your convictions, it's going to work out. I didn't know, I didn't have any people following me. I didn't know if people were going to like what I had to say. I just said what I was on my heart. Then what do you know? People agree with me. What if I would have been so afraid to speak my heart that I never said anything? We got to be braver than that. And I'm not saying say something that'll make you lose your job, but have your convictions and stick with them. You don't have to fall into the category of believing that you are oppressed. You can think differently. You can think outside the box. As an African-American man, if you don't feel oppressed, then you don't feel oppressed. If you don't want to take a knee, you don't have to take a knee. If you don't see what they seeing, you don't have to follow them across the street. That's all I'm saying. If you believe that there's racism, then have proof and stand with that. Don't be a follower. Don't be fake. Just be you. God only made one you. And that's all you can do is be yourself. And if everybody would just be themselves and honestly love each other, we wouldn't even be having videos like this. There would be no videos. There would be no outrage. There would be no division. Think for yourself. Love your neighbor. Keep God first. And you cannot lose. I wish that we would take a step back as a country and say, what are our core principles? Love your neighbor is a core principle. If we really did that, we wouldn't be arguing about slavery. People today should forgive these people already. I find it interesting that some groups of people they're willing to cry about slavery, right? It was terrible, but they're willing to cry and feel so hurt when they think about slavery and what that has done to African American people, right? I don't blame you for crying. But at the same time, why are you not crying about inner city violence that is killing us as if we're still in slavery? Why when Kanye West and some of these rappers make some of this music that don't make you cry? That don't hurt you inside when you hear them glorifying killing other black people? When you hear them glorifying objectifying women? Why don't that make you sad too? Why don't that make you protest these rappers that are teaching our young men to sag their pants and to not care about law enforcement, to put tattoos on your neck and face, and then get mad when you can't get a job? I will stand with you if I saw a balanced outrage. If I saw you saying that the flag represents something negative, and then I saw you saying, but it also represents a lot of positive. If you told me that you hated racism and you hate the N-word, but then you turn around and say, well, I hate this rap music that do the same thing that I'm preaching that I hate. And then I'm going to say this. African American people have come to me, some of them, because a lot of them agree with me and some of them don't. People have come to me and literally with tears in their eyes saying that oppression is bothering them and racism. But they turn around and call me an N-word, a Uncle Tom, a sellout, and that they're ashamed of me. How is that? How are you going to get any credence from anybody when you're such a hypocrite? The same people are claiming that white people are just destroying their lives through oppression. They turn around and send me inbox messages that hurt my feelings sometimes. Like, dang, I thought that you were for African American people. Oh, only the ones that agree with you. Okay, I understand. Let me get off here because I don't want to talk too long. But if you've been watching, you understand my concept. At the end of the day, we're all human. At the end of the day, we should operate in forgiveness. If your neighbor offended you, and I have to work on it every day. If your neighbor offended you, if you feel like somebody has hurt you, or you feel like you're oppressor, what did the Bible say? It says pray. If you don't like Trump, pray for Trump. Because it's in your best interest that he do the right thing. If you don't like your legislators, if you don't like these people that make laws, go pray for them. You win people with love and kindness. You don't win them through bludgeoning people. And I'm not saying sometimes you don't have to take a stand and call people out, because Jesus called people out all day long in the Bible. He called his own apostles hypocrites and calling them out on their lack of faith. I think he called Peter, he said, "Get behind me, Satan." Flipping over tables in the temple, calling Pharisees snakes and hypocrites. and saying that if your righteousness don't exceed that of the Pharisees, you're going to go to hell. I don't understand how we claim that we believe, and then we can't even understand simple biblical principles. We need to get back to the basics. Where's the love? Where's the unity? Where's the prayer? Where is it at? Why do you hate your neighbor? I have never one time that I can remember in my life sent somebody a message on Facebook and say, you know what? I hate what you just said right now. You son of a B. You deserve to be lynched. I would never say that to a person I disagree with. But people send stuff to me like that. And I'm just like, are you serious? Anyway, man. Earl Mitchell, I thank you for joining. Earl Mitchell, I played with you at U of A, and you're an NFL player. And I hope you stood up. And I hope that if you didn't stand for the national anthem, that you have an articulable reason why. That you're not just following the status quo. You're not just groupthink. That you're an independent thinker. And that if you're going to stand for something, you're going to stand for something that have a backbone. But anyway, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all coming on here, watching my videos. Because, to be honest, it's a group thing between us. I say what some of y'all want to say, and you share the video, and our message get out there. And it's pretty much what I think is going to combat the naysayers, the people out here spreading hate and division, the people out here that spread misinformation. This is how we combat that. They ain't going to put me on CNN. They don't want to do that. Because their narrative is going to be confronted. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all have a good day. Peace.